Well, global recession fears have pushed the Australian dollar down to its lowest level in more than 2 years this morning. Joining me now is our business reporter, Edward Boyd. Ed, the dollar lowest point since when? June 2020, and it's mainly due to China's new COVID lockdown triggering recession fears.
Yeah, it really shows how much Australia's economy depends on China. So the latest lockdown is in the city of Macau, known for its gambling, and it's also spread to other parts of China. So roughly 30 million people in China are now in lockdown. What that means is less consumption from China and Chinese consumers, less use of Australia's number one commodity, iron ore. So really the price of iron ore has been falling over the last 6 months or so. You can see here, this is the Aussie dollar over the last 3 years, and it peaked at around 77 cents in the middle of that chart. It's now down to about 67.4 cents. So the Aussie dollar has been down as the price of iron ore has really fallen, because currency traders, they invest in the Australian dollar. They realise that Australia's economy is not going to be doing as well as it may have in the past. So they take their money out of the Aussie dollar and put it into other assets, and that's what we've been seeing over the last few months. And now the dollar, yes, at its lowest point since June 2020.
Can we just bring that graphic back? That major dip, was at the start of COVID?
That was the start of COVID, so that's around March 2020, where we saw the Aussie dollar get below 60s, well, down to about 55 US cents. But a lot of global currencies did lose value at that point. Since then, it did bounce back pretty sharply. It went from about 55 cents there in March 2020 to around 77 cents in the middle of last year. And it's really been slowly falling since the middle of last year. Remember back then, the price of iron ore was around 200 US dollars a tonne. It's now at about 110, 115 US dollars a tonne. So as the price of iron ore has really come down, less people are investing in Australia's economy by buying the Aussie dollar, and the Aussie dollar's fallen.
Okay, yeah, really tough if you're going on an overseas holiday. I mean, it's terrible. Let's talk about consumer confidence. It's declined for the second straight week, driven by concern about the economic outlook and inflation.
Inflation, the economic outlook, and if you think about last week, that was when the Reserve Bank lifted interest rates by 0.5%, which is a bit of a shock to a lot of people around the economy with a mortgage. So this is the latest figures from the ANZ's Roy Morgan survey, and we can put up on the screen just showing how steeply consumer confidence has fallen off. You can see that big dip there towards the sort of the back third there. That's March 2020, where Aussie dollar was down as well. But you can see the consumer confidence sort of bounced back a bit, but now it's really been on a downward trajectory since the start of January. And if we go to the next page, this is inflation, concerns around inflation. You can see how that's been sharply rising. The main one there has been people with a mortgage. So they've been particularly concerned around inflation and rising interest rates. They're obviously worried that they're going to have less money to be on their balance sheets. They're going to have to put more money to their mortgage, and it's really giving them a lot of worry. So that is the latest figures from ANZ and Roy Morgan.
Oh, I love it when you give us all bad news, Ed. That was obviously very sarcastic. Let's talk about the market. It's just open. Any good news there?
Hey, good news. Look, the stock market is actually up 0.7% today. So US markets closed a little bit lower overnight, but Aussie markets up strongly this morning, really. Hopefully it gets up to about 1% by the middle of the day. So good day on the share market, at least.
There you go, Ed. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.